Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on One Piece, Volume 36. There is a lot happening in this volume, so I'm going to try my best to sum it up. But this arc is really, we're really getting into the meat of it right now, and there's just like a lot of moving parts right now. So this volume picks up with Luffy and Frankie. They were fighting at the end of the last volume with Galila stepping in because they are trying to capture Luffy because they believe the Straw Hats are responsible for the assassination of Iceberg, or the assassination attempt of Iceberg. So we get a fight with Luffy and Frankie fighting Galila. It's mainly Galila going after Luffy, with Frankie eventually butting in and the attack that he does, allowing Luffy to escape. So Luffy, just wanting to sort of figure out what's going on, goes straight to Iceberg. He breaks into the building that he's in, which of course doesn't help people's suspicion of them. But he approaches Iceberg and just asks questions like, why do you think we assassinated you? Or like, because I think he found out Robin was there, so he went to ask about Robin because he's still searching for Robin. And Iceberg basically asks Luffy to let him see Robin again, and so they're sort of at this moment where Luffy is looking for information on where Robin is, and Iceberg doesn't have it, and Iceberg wants to see Robin again, but Luffy can't help because he doesn't know where she is. So Luffy takes off, and now the Straw Hats are basically wanted by the entire island. And I don't remember at what point it's mentioned, if it was first mentioned in this volume or a previous volume, but we've got a big storm coming, so people are packing up and getting ready to go. Frankie goes to the bar to sort of refuel. We learn that he's fueled by soda, and we meet Kokoro and, what is it, Chimney and Gombe, his little rabbit. So he meets them there, and we get a little bit of information about what CP9 is. I don't remember if previously it had really been mentioned, but we know that CP9 was mentioned when Robin disappeared. So CP9 is a secret government organization, and we know that Robin is somehow involved with them, but we don't really know how at this point. Chopper and Sanji are off just searching for Robin, and eventually they bump into her, and she just tells them that she's leaving. Again, there's so many moving parts going on here. I'm trying to collect myself. Robin and CP9 go back to finish off Iceberg. Luffy, Nami, Zoro, and Chopper are going to where Iceberg is to try and confront Robin. Sanji's off on his own. We have Frankie out going to kidnap Usopp and sort of hold him hostage for the Straw Hats to come and get him, because he doesn't know about the whole Straw Hat breakup that happened in the last volume. And so the building where Iceberg's at, everybody's on guard. Like, all of Galila is there to protect him. All of like the head shipwrights are there. Polly, the guy with the hair sticking up, I think his name is... there's one that's named Lulu, and I don't remember the third one's name. Oh, no, I do. It's something Tile. I don't know his full name, but... And then Lucci, Kaku, and I think that's it. So they're all, like, directly outside of Iceberg's room, protecting him. Iceberg calls Polly in to send him on, like, a special mission, and in the meantime, CP9 is raiding the building. And there's probably one of my favorite jokes of the series in this volume, where Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Chopper are all sitting at a tree, waiting to sort of barge in, waiting for their moment to go in to get to Iceberg and try and find Robin. And Luffy takes off on his own. And the other three decide, like, okay, Luffy's run in, he's going to be causing chaos, we can follow in, and there's not going to be, like, a whole lot of stuff, like, a whole lot of people for us to worry about, because they're all chasing Luffy. And so they jump in, and Luffy hasn't gone in yet. And so they just jump into, like, a bunch of people ready to attack them. And it turns out Luffy did try and go in, and he just got wedged between two buildings. That's one of my favorite jokes in the series. It makes me laugh every time. So yeah, there's just a mess. CP9 is raiding the building. They eventually take out the remaining, head shipwrights protecting Iceberg, and they go after Polly, because they believe Iceberg is giving Polly something that they're searching for. And I think we eventually figure out what it is. I have the name of it written down here, so I assume it's brought up in this. So Luffy's stuck. CP9 has taken out the head shipwrights. They're going after Polly. Luffy unsticks himself and sort of blasts into the room where Polly and these guys are, and Polly and Luffy are sort of subdued by them, and they find the blueprints that Polly has gone and taken out of this hidden safe in the room isn't what they're looking for. So they go back to Iceberg, and we learn that Iceberg has blueprints for the ancient weapon Pluton, which was mentioned back in Alabasta. It's what Crocodile was after. And so we get the reveal of who CP9 is, and we learn that it's Lucci, Kaku, Khalifa, and Blueno. The first three we saw last volume or the volume before. Blueno introduced here. He worked at the bar. There's a funny moment in this where it's like, Lucci, Kaku, Khalifa, you're evil, and Blueno from the bar. It's like he was just sort of random, just shows up at the last minute. But they interrogate Iceberg, and they learn that he passed the blueprints on to somebody else. The blueprints have been passed down from generation to generation. Tom's teacher, or not Tom, Iceberg's teacher, Tom, passed them down to him. Iceberg handed them off to a former, so Tom had two disciples, Iceberg, and one was Cutty Flam. Cutty Flam was said to die. He didn't actually die, and it's actually Frankie. So now CP9 is going after Frankie. Luffy and Polly, while they're sort of tied up, agree to team up to save Iceberg. And I think this volume ends with Zoro and Luffy blasting into the room with CP9, Robin, and Iceberg. So that's this volume. There's so much going on. There's a lot of dialogue. When I was reading this, I'm like, it's kind of slow. There's a lot happening, and it feels like it's moving at times, but there's just a lot of dialogue. But it was still a very good read. As for the cover story, it's still the Gadatsu one. I don't know if it's done. I don't remember if it said it was the final part yet. But Gadatsu, it ended up on Alabasta through the mole guy. They made a tunnel. And so now there is a tunnel from Alabasta to the island where Gadatsu and this guy that he was helping found a hot spring. And they're basically setting up a business. So that's that. There wasn't anything that stood out in the SBS. But this volume was really great. This whole arc is just, once we get to Water 7, everything is just moving, and there's so many moving parts. And it's, it feels incredibly chaotic with all the things that are going wrong. Robin's leaving, Usopp and Luffy fight, we've got the Frankie family messing with them, we've got this big storm coming, we've got CP9, there's just all kinds of problems for the crew coming from all kinds of different directions, and it's great. So yeah, those are my thoughts on volume 36. A really great volume, a really fun read. I really like this arc, and I can't wait to get to reading more. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.